The Lincoln Navigator showed up at my house during a snowstorm. While there wasn't much accumulation, it was bitterly cold outside and it got pretty icy pretty quickly. I had to rush out to get a new GoPro camera. The previous camera popped off of a pickup truck I was reviewing as I drove past seaside houses that are still being repaired or replaced more than 2 years after the devastation of Superstorm Sandy. In my quest for my replacement GoPro, I went online to Target and was typing too fast and found something called Go Girl. And let's just say it's a feminine product that I don't think I should stick on the roof of a car. Next, I checked Walmart's website and it said they had the model I wanted in stock. I drove there in the cold and snow only to find out that Walmart's website isn't quite as reliable as one might think. Another person in the camera aisle was complaining to a Walmart employee that she too had checked for a certain type of camera online and that one wasn't in stock either. A snowboarder standing next to me who was also looking for a GoPro said I should try the Best Buy down the street. I did, and not only did they have what I needed in stock, the salespeople knew what they were talking about. Anyway, the point of this allegory is that I had to get in and out of the 2015 Lincoln Navigator a lot, in cold weather in large parking lots. While the new Navigator is keyless, I still had to find the fob to push the button to lock and, more importantly, unlock the Lincoln in the bitter cold. Now, I did this while wearing a coat from LL Bean that has about 20 pockets. Unlike other luxury and even mid-range cars, the Lincoln Navigator did not have door handles that recognized me and opened or locked automatically. On the other hand, the remote start on the Lincoln Navigator was greatly appreciated during my Walmart, Best Buy, Walmart, Butcher Shop trifecta. The big Lincoln does have a 90s style keypad on the door that you can program so you can unlock and lock the beast from the driver's door only. That's an issue if you have packages that you want to put in the cargo area or kids you want to put in the second or third row. The ride on the 2015 Navigator is very comfortable. I put the dial-a-ride system into comfort mode and the big SUV obeyed, even though the more than 6,000-pound Navigator is now powered by a 3.5-liter V6 EcoBoost engine, which generates 360 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. It never felt underpowered or hesitant in the competitive driving environment in and around New York. Car and Driver puts the 0 to 60 time at a fleet-footed 6.2 seconds. That's pretty fast for a Texas-sized vehicle. By the way, Lincoln sells more Navigators in the Lone Star State than anywhere else. The seats are heated and cooled, and Lincoln took pity on me and restored a few buttons and knobs, so now I can turn up the seat heater without changing the radio station by accident on the touchscreen. While the seats were extremely comfortable, the steering wheel did not seem to telescope far enough for me. Additionally, unlike many other luxury cars, the Lincoln Navigator does not have a heated steering wheel. I did, however, appreciate that Lincoln did not crowd the steering wheel with paddle shifters. This is not a vehicle you want to take on the track on your day off. While I was in Manhattan, I picked up an Irish friend of mine. He got into the Navigator, felt the dashboard on the passenger side, and said, "Finally, an American car with a nice interior." He even ran his hand along the leather-covered glove compartment. Now, I agree with my friend to an extent. The interior is really nice, with the exception of the hard plastic on the center stack, especially where the clock should be. I don't know about you, but in an increasingly digital world with numbers everywhere, I still like having an analog clock around. I don't like to hunt for the time on one of the myriad of video screens in modern luxury cars. I like to just know what time it is without pulling out my phone and getting a ticket for that, or trying to see my wristwatch in the dark. My friend's only sour note on the interior of the new Lincoln was the size of the sunroof. While sunroofs are getting bigger and bigger, even on moderately priced cars, the sunroof on the Lincoln Navigator was more of a slit than the glass roof that's becoming common. The reason the 2015 Navigator still sports the small single-panel moonroof is because while the 2015 Navigator is a refresh, it's not a completely new car. so it has something to do with the engineering. The entire vehicle would probably have to be redone to give us a panoramic roof. I think something similar is at work with the drive-through ATM near my house. It has Braille. My guess is that all of the ATMs are made with Braille, and they would have to redo just a few to make the drive-through ones without it, but that's just my guess. Something I'm not guessing at is that I love the power third row seats. For some reason, I think even acrobats have trouble getting third row seats to fold down and come back up. In my opinion, I would make even the second row seats power. The 2015 Lincoln Navigator gets 15 miles per gallon in the city and 20 on the highway. The fuel tank holds 28 gallons on the regular wheelbase Navigator and 33.5 gallons on the longer wheelbase model. The main difference between the regular wheelbase Navigator and the stretch version is cargo room. The regular wheelbase Navigator has a little over 18 cubic feet of cargo room behind the third row. The long wheelbase has more than 42 cubic feet behind the third row. Now, more than 10% of the Navigators sold in this country are fleet vehicles, meaning that a lot of them probably spend a significant amount of time hauling people and luggage to and from the TSA torture chambers called airports. Towing capacity varies between 8,300 pounds and 9,000 pounds depending upon how you configure the Navigator. The base price for our Lincoln Navigator was a little over $65,000. Options on our test car included power running boards and that moonroof I told you about. The total price as tested was a shade under $74,000. I'm Grant Winter, reporting for Real World Test Drive.